What are we looking at?
2014 Chevy Cruze LTZ RS, wrapped in paprika orange.
What made you choose this?
It's unique and different. It was my first car, and I wanted to do something different.
Now, this isn't how you first got it, is it?
No, I got it. Definitely stock height.
What did the car look like when you first got it?
It was.
What color was it?
Oh, it was champagne silver, as General Motors calls it. It was like gold, silver, flake. It looked all over the place. It was a nice color, and that's actually the reason I chose the car, is because I like that color, and I didn't see it often. Then I got it, and I see it all the time. Now I really don't see it often anymore because I'm driving an orange one.
What is this paint or wrap?
This is wrap. This is paprika orange tech wrap.
Paprika orange. Okay. When did you wrap it?
I wrapped it in October of last year, 2023, right as the season ended. So almost right after Tuner Evo 2023, I got the car after I got back from vacation, got all the material, went to my buddy's house, and me and him just wrapped it over a course of 2 weeks. Stored it all winter long.
How long before you owned the car as it was silver to how it is today?
Gradually over time, I started as doing all the light stuff. I was plastic dip, mod, implementations. I did all that. I did start doing the wheels. I went some wrong ways for sure, but then I kind of backtracked and said, I'm gonna do it a different way. And so I started lowering it, did different wheels. This is my third set of wheels on the car.
Okay.
Definitely changed the suspension 3 times, twice, 2 or 2, yeah, 3 times.
Okay. Now, what type of aftermarket support is there with suspension for these cars?
There's not a whole lot of support. It all started with one person in California who really modded his Cruze out. His name's Daniel. I give him a big shout out. Cruze Culture. He's the one who kind of helps the Cruze community get together, along with our other buddy Jake in Massachusetts. Definitely, he was the first bag Cruze, I want to say.
Okay.
Maybe the second or third, and they just kind of blew it all up. And it went from there, and it was the most underrated platform at the time, back in like 2016, 15, 17.
Now, would you say you did most of the work yourself, or did you have a shop help you out?
I did a lot of the stuff I kind of did. There's some stuff I did with the shop. I had the shop do a lot of the suspension a couple times, did the trunk setup. I pretty much they did the wheels and tires.
Gotcha.
A lot of the other stuff, like the interior stuff, I did myself. The hood I put on myself. Headlights, taillights put on myself. Front lip was mounted by a shop, but I got it wrapped by a different shop, and then did all that. Pretty much a lot of the stuff is mixed between shop and myself.
What wheels are on these now?
ESR AP1s. They are
18 by what?
18 by 8.5 plus 30 offset.
Okay, and what is this body kit you got on here, the lip kit?
The front lip is a TC Sportline lip kit. They don't make it anymore for the Cruzes. I was able to get a friend in Ohio who bought it and went a different route. Brought it to me by one of the Slam Enough Chicagos.
Okay.
Bought it off of him. I actually had the lip in storage for about 2 years before I decided to figure out how to put it on and change the front bumper, put that on. Because the front bumper is not the OEM bumper.
Is this rear bumper OEM?
The rear bumper is OEM. That is the RS bumper.
Okay.
Because of the sensors and the little bottom piece you see down there.
Yep.
That is the OEM. The front is obviously completely different. It's a non-RS bumper because the RS bumpers had a body molded lip with the bumper itself.
Gotcha.
But you couldn't add any lips. You couldn't put any like little front spoilers. You couldn't put anything on it. So you kind of have to change the bumper. So I did, and I changed it, and this lip fit very, very well after some heat to it.
I agree. And then as far as like the extensions on the side skirts, what do you got there?
Those are just the universal like side skirts.
Okay.
I have the OEM side skirt from the factory on there, but I wanted to sit a little lower but give it some aggressive aero. So I did the side splitter. It's just universal to get there.
And then this hood you mentioned. What is this?
It's Carbon Creations or Extreme Dimensions, both the same company. Stingray Z hood. It's based off a combination of, I guess, the Cobalt hood and Camaro hood with the vent. It gives it the aggressive style, more cowl style hood.
A little ventilation.
Yeah, it definitely gets rid of a heat soak because these things don't like to stay cool.
And then as far as your interior, we can tell you touched on that.
Yeah, it's wrapped. So the center console around the radio and around the shifter is just maroon sprayed. It's painted. I did that myself, painted that, and then I took the dash panels out around the driver's side, passenger side of the car, and wrapped those in suede, maroon suede, and it matched this the console itself the most. Did the same thing to the door panels, front and rear. Those are wrapped as well. Kept the chrome on the inside, and then more recently I did the Rom bucket seats. Shout out to Rom for sponsoring me, being my first major sponsor.
Yeah, tell us more about these seats because these are sick.
They're round, red houndstooth. They were one of the options that they were giving me. I gave them a list of options and they suggested this one. They saw pictures of the inside of the car and kind of suggested it, and I had to do it. I couldn't stay away from the black leather on the side, leatherettes I should say, and then the red houndstooth, which is a classic. Houndstooth is like classic in cars. I figured the red and black would just help. Either that is this, or I was gonna do beige seats, but it wouldn't have went well with the car at all.
Yeah, no, this fits perfectly. Then what is this right here on the rear?
On the window, we got the rear window vents. Basically, they're for track use. I like them just because of the aesthetic, but in all functionality, they work for hot days. If you don't want to drive your AC down your front windows, it brings out all the heat out the inside of the car, basically, and it keeps air circulating through the car.
I see a little detail here on the pillars. What do we got going on here?
I got wrapped underneath black matte vinyl is some tentacles. Basically, if you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, there's Kraken, and they're the Kraken, as they would say. It is wrapped underneath as like a shadow wrap per se, and it stuck with the car, and it's been on there for actually about 2 years now. And it's just the hidden detail I like in there the most that no one notices, but it's done.
And then roof spoiler you got?
Roof spoiler is just an Amazon
special,
eBay special. I went and looked up. I couldn't find anything I liked that was aggressive enough and big enough for the rear. I found I started looking at Honda spoilers. I found something that kind of just matched very well measurement wise. I bought this one. It took a couple of errors, trial and error to measure and get it right. So I kept measuring it by it. Bought and resold, trying to figure out which one fit the most. And this one kind of fit the best equally on each side.
Gotcha.
Did that one.
Then right into this rear lip spoiler.
Trunk lip spoiler is Spoiler King's center cutout spoiler. I actually bought this one brand new this year just because I actually, when getting my other one put on the car, I did it myself. I put new vinyl on it and everything, or 3M, and I went to go do it, and I lost it. I don't know how. I must have thrown that away by accident. But I switched it to the bigger, more aggressive one, and I think it actually helped it a lot rather than that smaller one I did.
Definitely. Then you also smoked out your taillights?
Yes, I bought those. I bought those off of someone who had a Cruze, and that's how they came from the factory. They were smoked out, and the lenses. I definitely have new ones coming in. I have to change new ones. I got told I have to change them by a cop.
Yeah.
Can't see them at night. At night you can see them very well. In the daytime, it's faded to the point where you can't see the outer ones anymore. The inner ones you can see perfectly fine. The outer ones is like they're the most like deteriorated. The LEDs like are just going out. I guess you can't see it. So I'm switching to like a Mercedes style because these look more. These were knowing the Cruzes as BMW style.
Okay.
I'm switching to the Mercedes style where hopefully if they come and I test them sequential turn signals on the top.
Gotcha. Speaking of lights, I see you did something to the headlights. Tell us more about that.
Headlights are Windjet style headlights. They're actually turned off. So they're Windjet Automotive's projector headlights. They They have a variety of the option you can do to them, which is awesome. If you see inside the actual projector itself, there's rings in there.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people take out those rings and put the RGBs in the headlights so they light up and then they can change color. I haven't done it yet. I just kind of held off on it, but it has that light bar that I like. And I did the white side mirrors to add on.
Now under this carbon fiber hood, is there anything on the engine?
Not particularly.
Bolt-ons?
Cold air intake. Let's see, cold air intake. I've got a intake manifold spacer, a ported intake manifold, and a B&R tune, pretty much just for efficiency and running off 93 octane, which helps the turbo in the car. Other than that, it's pretty much a stock engine. No turbos, nothing. I'd rather keep the engine and try not to blow it up, even though it blows up without any mods. I'd rather try not to blow it up and keep it running as long as I can.
Now you have an exhaust on this?
I do have it. Actually, that one's custom.
Okay.
From the cat back, it's custom. I have a CZP Performance mid-pipe that goes from the cat back, and from that point on it's cut, and at one point it switches out from the rear end under the spare trunk, or the spare tire. Well, splits out and goes out to dual, which it reverbs off everything, so it gives it a deep tone and makes it just sound different because of the reverb and everything. So.
Gotcha. No, it sounds great. We were just driving behind. He was just driving with us, so it sounds amazing. Now, the piece of resistance with this Jack Sparrow Pirates of the Caribbean inspired Cruze is the trunk. So let's take a look at that here in a moment. Elaborate more on the inspiration behind the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Inspiration of it, so it started with me trying to do multiple themes. I went from all the things I liked, so I started Star Wars, didn't work. I started something else, I couldn't remember. It was so far long ago that I just could not remember what I did. And then I just thought about it. I kept watching Pirates of the Caribbean for a couple years. Like, I watched them all on the road, and at the time, this was right before the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trials. And I just kind of went with it, and I said, you know what? I think Jack Sparrow would work for the car, because everyone said your personality. I had a couple people tell me your personality is like him, like you like him. I love rum. Rum is my favorite alcohol, so I mean, it was like, might as well. So I took some aspects from the movie. The brown suede that's in the trunk represents, I guess, the bottom of the ship, the board. That would be the brown suede, and then the red suede on the inside underneath the Jack Sparrow etched glass is red for like the treasure chest. And I was going to put other stuff in there, but I felt like it took away from seeing the actual etched Jack Sparrow. So I did that. And I took it out and left it in front of there. Obviously the stand for the airlift management says Dead Man Telling the Tale. That's one big thing in the movies and even in the Disney ride itself.
The movies are great.
Oh, I love them all. I love all the movies, just all the effects, everything, the lines. I've got the jar of dirt that Johnny Depp had. I've got it. I don't have the heart yet. I can't find it. I'm still looking for it. I'm going to do the heart. I actually also found recently prop guns at C2E2 in Chicago one year. I went to one of the foam booths, and they had pirate guns. And I went, I'm going to go with those. And I even found on Amazon the octopus on top of the skull. I thought that fit very well.
Yeah.
If I want to. The lanterns are also fake flames. You can see them at this hour. They are fake flames, so I thought these were cool on Amazon. And they're remote controlled, so I can sit here with a remote. I got a pack of 4 of them, so I have 1 at home or 2 at home, and then these 2 just kind of sit in the car at all times, and they're on for pretty much the whole duration of the show.
Are they rechargeable?
No, battery operated.
Oh, battery.
I just stick 1 AA in there, and they light up for hours upon hours. I think I've had them for 2 years now. If they haven't died on me yet, I've changed battery.
Damn. Okay.
I did the Starlight trunk liner as well. I've seen so many people do the Starlight headliners, which I love. I got to redo. I had it in my car. I have to redo it because it was terrible. I did a couple years ago. Got to redo it. I don't like showing that off, but I love showing off the trunk one. It's just because you don't see it on the trunk often. You see it, but you don't see it often. Eventually, I will do more plans to add starlights to the rest of the trunk to fit the theme of like a pirate night sky. And on the ocean, because in the ocean you see all the stars. I added Govee LED light strips, like the car strips, and I took those, put them on the back above the tank, and I put them at the very front of the trunk panel here by the latch. And they just rotate between whites, red, yellow, green, orange, I think. And I have them marqueeing, so they basically chase each other, and then they change every so often and go a different direction. Those lights are also the same that are on the interior. They match inside.
So it's cohesive.
Yeah, and I can change them as I want with Bluetooth. So the only good thing about these ones is no one can connect to them at shows.
Oh.
So I can connect these to my own. They're paired to my phone directly. No one can connect to them. Once I'm connected and they're turned on, they stay the way I want them, and I can change them any way I want, anytime I want.
Now let's go take a look under the hood. Continuing on with the Pirates of the Caribbean theme, under the hood. Tell us what you got going on. Is this like a radiator cover?
So it's a front grille support cover per se. It was black. I had it painted a couple times. I tried doing a stencil on top. You can kind of see it. I tried doing like an ocean stencil on top. It didn't work the greatest. So I took it to a guy who does some big airbrushing in the state. Actually, he's a big person. He does a lot. He's done airbrushing for a lot of cars that are at World Wheels, Tuna Galleria, etc. He does airbrushing for a whole lot of cars that do all that. And I asked him to do a Jack Sparrow theme with obviously the two kind of big characters throughout the whole thing, Johnny Depp, Jack Sparrow, and then Davy Jones with all the tentacles in the face. And I think that's probably my favorite part, is all the tentacles match it, like how detailed it is. And he airbrushed all of this. He did the airbrush and all of it. Add the pirate ship in there.
It's a lot of detail.
Yeah, it's all airbrushed. So he took his time. It took him, I think, like 3 or 4 days actually to get done, and he took a whole day to dry it. And I went and picked it up, and they stood out the best. And then even on the driver and passenger side, the side panels as well, there is actually a notch to the trunk right here. It's got a skull and the lantern of my trunk. Actually, it looks like the lantern going in the trunk. It kind of matches. And then on my fuse box cover is the skull of Johnny Depp, like the black pearl on the very bottom itself. Actually, he did all of that.
Wow. And then you mentioned you did a little more interior. What are these gauges?
Yeah, I have a ZZP pillar pod. The driver's side there. Two AEM gauges. One is boost, one is air fuel wideband. Obviously, there's the airlift remote, and then I've got the interior floor well lights that go around the front seat, the back seat, and they're pretty much the same color, if not similar to the trunk setup as well. So it's similar color.